Time to try 5-minute stencil card ideas.
Are you ready to release the power of the single stencil? Yes, today I've got 5-minute stencil backgrounds that I'm going to be sharing with you, 5 different ideas, and they're all using just one stencil. And we're going to make them all into cards. Starting with my first idea, which is to create a silhouette. Now I know it may seem really obvious, it's just a one single stencil, one layer of colour. But there's a few things that you need to think about if you're doing a silhouette image is what colour are you going to use. I've chosen a nice dark navy. You could use a black, a grey, anything really. A deep maroon would look lovely. What I've done is chosen a stencil that has enough boldness to the pattern that it's going to hold its own as a background, like as a silhouette background. You don't want anything too dainty or intricate. The other thing is this takes a lot of ink to get that real deep bold look. And one of the tips I would recommend is to use a large blending tool first, like I did, just to do a quick lay down of the colour. Then I can come in with my mini ink blending tool and add that real depth. And using this mini tool, what it does, it kind of picks up any of that excess ink that's on the stencil as well and relays it back into the pattern. Now this is just one layer of stencil. There's no way this was going to take me more than 5 minutes, so I had a bit of time up my sleeve here. And what I decided to do was take it a little step further. So I masked off the whole image. So I added some lovely gold ink splattering. If you don't have any of this, then you could create your own by using a gold, like a water-based paint, just adding some water to it and then flicking it with a brush. I think white would have looked lovely here as well. Now the ink itself didn't take particularly long to dry, but I will have to set this aside and let that gold ink splatter dry. So I'm working on a sticky grid mat that's very sticky because I've just washed it recently and that makes it re-tacky. Re-tacky, is that a word? So to make sure that I don't bend my cardstock as I'm lifting it off, I actually bend the mat and not the cardstock. Right, so we're on to technique number 2 now. And this one is one that I've done before. It's to create a shadow, but I'm changing it up. This time we're going to be doing a coloured shadow offset rather than a grey. Normally I would use a grey ink and I just wanted to change it up. So one stencil and we're going to repeat it twice to get that shadow look. So I'm going to be using 2 different colours here, but you could use 2 different shades of the same colour if you prefer. But if I'm using a second colour on the stencil, I do like to clean the stencil first and give it a few seconds to dry, because if there's water on the stencil and you start adding a water-based ink, it can have some problems. We're going to lose the crispness of the edge of your stencil. I typically like to offset my images with the shadow or the second colour down to the bottom right, but you can do this however you prefer. So that means as you're lining up your stencil, you need to leave a little gap of white cardstock. You can see that in the top left-hand side of the image. And this is a repeated pattern, so it makes it really easy to see. You can do this with many different styles of stencils, and it looks amazing. And again with the navy here, I thought that would look really cool with that really light lime green as its shadow. Make sure not to have your offset too large. You do want this just to look like a subtle shadow, and it's going to look a little bit different because we've used the 2 different colours here. You do want to use your darker colour typically on top, and when you're using water-based inks, just be aware that they are transparent, so you may be able to see the colour beneath. If that bothers you, then you can switch it up and use a pigment ink instead. But you will have to wait for each layer to dry before you add the next one. How cool is that? So our next technique now, and it's time to add some angled stripes. And we're going to step it up a little bit. You may already know that I love my stripes, and I especially love them on an angle in the background of a card design. This is a nice wide stripe. There are a million different stripy stencils out there, and a lot of them would work with this technique. But what I'm going to do is use the same stencil and create a multi-stripe design. So I'm doing a base layer of colour, and then once that's down, I can add a second layer of stripes. So again, I do need to clean my stencil just to make sure I don't cross-contaminate the inks. And then I can just shift the stencil slightly. I'm going to be using the same angle again, but I want to make sure that some of the ink is showing through on the edge, because when I add this second colour, it's going to blend together with the first colour and create like a third stripe. And so far, both the colours that I'm using are fairly light, and you can use whatever colour combinations that you want here. And this is one of the great things about being able to create fast stencil backgrounds, is that you can make them whatever colour you want using whatever inks you have. You're not having to choose between design papers out of a paper pad and having that anxiety about not having it when you want it next time. You can make as many as you want. I think I could just leave this one as it is with that white layer of stripes, but I wanted to take it a step further, and I shifted my stencil one more time. And I do have a confession. This specific background took me about 10 seconds over the 5 minutes that I had allowed. So, bad girl. But I think it was worth it just to see how far I could go with these stripes. And yes, I'm here with the navy again. I added a really dark stripe to that light background. It just totally changed the look of it. There are many other options that you can do with stripes. You can flip them and make them into a plaid or a tartan, or if you don't have a stencil that has stripes, then just grab some masking paper, cut some strips, and make your own. Now our next technique is another fun one. It's a single stencil and we're flipping it. This I'm going to do a little bit differently, because you don't have to have a grid mat or a sticky mat to do stenciling, and sometimes I like to just use the glass mat beneath, or even just a scrap piece of paper, because then I can pick up the ink that's on the background or not. I just sometimes find that the grid mat can be a bit too sticky when I'm using the ink blending tools and I want to get a nice easy coverage. So this time I decided to adhere the cardstock directly behind the stencil. One way to speed things up is to just ink blend the section that you need. Like I'm using A2 panels here, and I'm going to cut them down a little bit, but the more that you ink blend, the longer it's going to take. Another option is to ink blend a larger area, and then you can make it into 2 cards. Now with this flipping of a single stencil, you're going to get a layered look, and this specific stencil was designed to do this. So it doesn't really matter which way you flip it, because it's still going to allow you to add 2 layers of ink, and the first pattern's going to show through very subtly, and you're also going to have some small white highlights in the gaps. This could work with a number of different styles of stencils, but I would look at something in your stash that was a bit more organic or free-flowing. I wouldn't probably try this so much with a more graphic pattern design. I don't think that would work very well. But if you've got something like this that's very organic, give it a go. You can just try a couple of different colors and see how they go together. You could even take it a step further and add another layer if you want. And I did it a little bit differently here this time. I did the lighter layer of ink blending first before the darker layer. I don't think it really matters too much. I don't know. I should give it a try and see. Could even mix it up and use a couple of different colors. Now I did promise you a bonus technique, and this one is a fun one. It's a reverse stencil print, and it's going to give you a watercolor look, and you don't need a paintbrush, promise. It's very easy to do. I have some smooth white watercolor cardstock, And I've grabbed a stencil that's a fairly solid design, like it has a lot of flat areas. Probably might have even been better had the leaves been bigger, but I came in and I added quite a bit of ink. Well, I thought I did, but to be honest, I didn't think it was enough. So I came back and added even more ink. Because this is a watercolor ink, it kind of pulls onto the plastic of the stencil, but that's the effect we're going to need, because we're going to actually make it look watercolor. So we need that to happen. And to help that along and help make the impression on our cardstock, I'm going to spritz this with a really fine mister. And add more than you think you need here. Because to be honest, I probably could have added more. I just wasn't game at the time. But that's what's going to give us the watercolor look. Now I have added a paper towel over top. I can't find my brayer. I don't know what I've done with it. But anyway, I just pressed it as hard as I could with the paper towel. I could have ran it through my die cutting machine, but I did want a pretty loose organic look, and I think it's really pretty. If you are going to mix colours like I did, just be careful with your ink pads. I used the darker one second as I was laying the colour down, and I did choose colours that were going to mix well together. Are you ready for some cards? I know that some people really struggle to find ideas to use their backgrounds, so I thought I'd share how I turned these 5 stencil backgrounds into 5 quick and easy cards. The design I used is basically the same on all of them. I've got a single kind of focal point and a sentiment. So this is going to give me plenty of room to still show off those stencil backgrounds that we've made. Now it is worth batching things out if you like to do that. If you're going to get inky, going to get your supplies out, you might as well make a few at a time, and it's a lot of fun to do. And it is handy to have backgrounds ready to go, all made, and if you need a quick card, you can just grab one and throw a card together. But there's no point having a ton of backgrounds and not turning them into cards at all. So you may notice that I've used very different supplies, but it's all kind of very similar. The other design idea that is often my go-to is to use a central die cut focal point. You can use a circle if that's what you got. You could even use a paper trimmer to cut a square or a diamond or a rectangle and place that behind, and place the stencil behind that, and then you can add your elements and your sentiment to that instead, and that's going to give somewhere to rest everything and just more use the stencil as a background. It's going to be less visible, but honestly, these were very quick to make, a lot quicker than I thought they'd be, because I always struggle with speed and stenciling, especially if I'm doing layering stenciling and I'm wanting to add blended ink colors and, really add some depth to the stencils. But these quick backgrounds were exactly that. They were quite quick because I was using only one stencil and just doing a couple of easy techniques. And not all the supplies that I've used today are still available. I have linked what I can in the description below. Otherwise, for a full list of what I've used, head to the blog post, which is also linked below, and reach out to me. And let me know in the comments if you have a favourite card today or if you're going to try any of these techniques. I've got a couple more stencil videos here for you to enjoy, and I look forward to seeing you there. If you like today's video, please click on the thumbs up button, and if you haven't already, subscribe. What are you waiting for? Click on that bell, because it's absolutely free. And I look forward to seeing you here very soon. Till then, happy paper crafting. Bye.